Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy Hangout. We do this every single Friday where we ask a juicy question of the universe. We blend our energies together. We have a good time doing it. So welcome, welcome. Today we have a juicy, gossipy reading about what have they heard about you. So, before we get into this, I don't want to forget, for those of you that do live in the US, I do try to kind of keep this a politics-free space, but I just want to remind everybody that the No Kings Day protest is tomorrow, and if you're interested, you can go to nokings.org and you can just look that up and see there's probably somewhere near you. I went last time. It was super chill, very calm, very, very organized, and well integrated with the community, so I just wanted to throw that out there for those of you that are interested. Okay, so back to the reading. We do have an anchor card, so I'm going to throw that up there. The anchor card is not an option. It's not one of the piles. It is just a common energy. Sometimes an anchor card comes out, and in theory, sometimes an anchor card won't come out, but the anchor cards have just been coming out. We don't ask for an anchor card, but if an anchor card comes out, then it comes out. So the anchor card is the unseen. And we'll move into our choices that are down at the bottom of the screen. So pile number 1 is the desert. Pile number 2 is the underworld. Pile number 3 is the sword. So I will put that up there. If you haven't already chosen your pile, now is the time to do that. You can do whatever you typically do to get yourself in the mode for receiving information. I like to just take a couple of deep breaths, allow my energy to drop, and just be in the silence. So we'll do that now, and then you can be drawn into whatever pile or potentially multiple piles. Maybe somebody has really heard a lot of things about you, but we'll do that now, and you can be drawn into whatever pile or multiple piles you are drawn into, keeping in mind that sometimes the way you get drawn into your proper pile might be a message in and of itself, especially with this many people tuned into the reading. So if your intuition, for instance, is leading you to a pile, but then as you're listening, you realize, oh wait, I'm actually this other pile. That might actually be a message in and of itself. Maybe about how your intuition is running through the situation, or maybe what you think a situation is, or what somebody thought that they heard about you, or what you thought that they heard about you, but actually they heard something else. So just keep that in mind. Things like that can happen too. So, all right, let's have a little moment of silence. Just turn your gaze inwards. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and be drawn in to whatever pile or multiple piles you are drawn into. I just heard you might have just received a message even in that moment, or just like kind of opening your eyes and connecting with the cards yourself. So, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let us do it. Okay, so pile number 1 is the desert. All right. So, Spirit, for pile number 1, what has pile number 1 heard about? What has their person heard about them, Spirit? What has pile number 1's person heard about them? 8 of Wands just came out. Page of Cups. I feel like whatever they heard was very startling. Or they heard that you were startled by something. Maybe that something kind of came in out of the blue, some kind of tornado-like activity that maybe was like swirling around and kind of impacting your life. It could have been a message that came in. And this person, I don't know, may want to kind of say they're sorry for this, or maybe this person felt that they were blissfully ignorant or unaware of something here. Yeah, with the unseen card, it's like something here was like very blurry. And it could have been that something here wasn't quite in focus for you. And then some kind of message dropped or like landed, or you received some kind of information, or you went somewhere and all of a sudden that was really like brought into crisp clarity for you. Yeah. Something here about like, I'm hearing the word imagination or like some kind of fantasy or something. And so then you weren't like, so then you were interested in it and you got kind of confused and maybe did some kind of digging. I want to say though, there's something kind of coming in. I feel like it's maybe about this person. Maybe you heard about this person, because I can't tell if you heard this about this person, because they could be hearing that you heard something about them, but there is somebody's energy, and I think it's theirs, that's coming through as like wanting to reach out. Oh, maybe that they want to reach out, maybe and say that they're sorry, but that might be startling to you. So it could be that this person has heard that. So it could be that this person's asking around about you, roundabout, giving, something here roundabout. I'm going to put that to the side there, but it could be that this person is asking around about you. And they heard that maybe for some of you that you have a child, or that you wouldn't want to hear from them, or that it would be sudden or shocking for you to hear from them. But I feel like this person might well be going through a difficult time with something that they didn't exactly see clearly. And it could have been because they were in some kind of way chasing a Rahu energy. That could be a person because of the way that I said that, but it kind of feels like greed or something, but not in, so Rahu is the north node, and that has a connection naturally to the south node. They're always 180 degrees apart from each other and form a straight line. But as the story goes, there is like, they've been severed between the two of them. So going after your Rahu is kind of like connecting with your destiny energy, but to do it in a way that is holistic and wise and helpful to the greater good, you have to come up through your south node. And I feel like this person definitely didn't do that. This is somebody who was not like kind of embodied as they were going after what they felt like was their destiny. So I think this person was going after some kind of destiny energy. For some of you, I want to say, I think this is maybe what this person heard about you, that you were flying a little too close to the sun kind of a thing and got burned, but found out that you were trapped. But for a lot of you, I think this is the person that you're asking about, and they're hearing that you heard something about them, that they're like buried under a lot of like grains of sand. So things that are irritating, like a lot of like little kind of tiny things. I'm hearing the word contradictions. And my husband and I have been talking a lot about contradictions and how they're kind of the opposite of that paradox energy. Because if you've listened to my channel, you know that I really love paradox. For me, paradox is something that doesn't seem like it should fit together, but it actually does. And that's really hard to do, but it kind of fits together perfectly. Very few things fit that description, but that stands at stark difference to just a bundle of contradictions. Things that exist together, and they are, if one thing is true, the other cannot be true. And then there's kind of like this layering of contradictions. And so I feel like this person is like kind of surrounded in contradictions. I feel like they got themselves into some kind of situation by not I'm hearing like removing the contradictions, or not like addressing the contradictions in their mind of some kind of situation or person or destiny energy that they thought that they were chasing. There was clearly some contradictions here, and I keep seeing like footing being like removed out from under this person, but I'm seeing them chase, but then like the footing under them keeps being kind of like removed. So again, I think that they're hearing that you heard something here about that. And I'm just noticing like the pink sky looks like the pink of the feminine, but almost in this like kind of passionate, but like enraged and almost sour kind of a way. And I think that they might have heard that that's the way that you feel about them, that you are, maybe they heard that you felt like flung out of something here, or that, and that even though there's a lot of passion here maybe, or like a lot of sweetness, and that's either in your personality or like between the two of you, that something here is like really soured between the two of you. And you are not really feeling open or soft like towards this person. And so they're trying to maybe learn about that, and they're maybe confused. So I think this person, again, I'm getting for a lot of you, this person is asking around about you. Roundabout. There's that word again. Roundabout. Are they thinking about giving you the roundabout? The roundabout. Something about the roundabout. Maybe some of you live in a roundabout, or like, you know, when you drive through a roundabout and it's always like very panic inducing and you're like, okay, which little exit am I going to, you know, I feel like this person's confused. They're roundabout. That might have to do with this basket of contradictions that this person is kind of like immersed in order to, I'm hearing like prop up their worldview in order to excuse their actions and like their life, because it doesn't really make sense. It's like plopped up with a basket of contradictions. I think this person also is being watched by somebody, and they might have heard that you heard that about them as well. Five of Pentacles. They heard that for some, they could have heard that you were struggling here in some way. Again, with this flung out energy, with this like left out in the cold. And sometimes I get with the snow here that certain things are being covered up. So I think that something here shocked this person. So they definitely heard something about you. And so even if this person is asking around about you, they definitely heard a roundabout. It just keeps sticking out to me. I have no idea what that means. They definitely heard something about you, and it got like the wheels churning. And it could have been about like a child, or about like something difficult that you had to go through that was like not typical, or you didn't receive the help that you should have gotten or something. And there is a lot of things that were hidden from this person, but that was just for a season. And that might be karmic. Like the karma is like, you, maybe spirit was like, okay, well, we want you to traverse this. We want you to like be able to go hermit mode, because see, she's got her little lantern there, like to be able to find your way through this. This is something that I feel like strengthened you and it made you strong, but it also roundabout. I think it led you to taking a certain exit on the roundabout that you wouldn't have taken otherwise. Like if it was a different season and you could see the ground and it wasn't snowing in your face like a blizzard, you know, so it seems like maybe something here actually like weirdly saved you from, I'm hearing like a worse fate down the track. I don't know if this person's like kind of hearing that, but so this was hard to go through in the moment, but I think in the long run, this may have actually been a preferable nightmare to something else because of the longevity of it. Because you could have maybe thrown in with this person, or something could have been could have remained hidden for a long period of time about something. And then, I don't know, this feels actually weirdly favorable, even though it looks like very difficult. But they heard something about this like Five of Pentacles energy. So, okay, I think they heard, maybe that you heard that they heard that you were like lacking in some way, or that somebody was saying that you were having like a hard time or something. It piqued their interest. Or they may have heard something about a child, or just something difficult that you had to kind of traverse through, maybe when you were a child, or, and this person didn't see that clearly before, and it kind of got this person thinking, and I think that it kind of made them in love with you a little bit, like, but they're kind of on an island, and they now have your attention, and like the Hierophant here, the Hierophant, the Five of Pentacles is very like kind of traditional energy, so I feel like you found your balance. They've heard that, or they've witnessed that. So they heard something and then they were confused about it or sorry. And so they kind of looked into it, and I think they see that you have found your balance now and that you are included somewhere, because the Hierophant is inside the church, right? So it's like you are included somewhere, but that you don't know the truth is what they're getting. And this person's reluctant to tell you the truth, maybe about a wedding, a party, a gathering, a get together. Because something here was like stagnant. Or this person's seeing this from a different angle or different perspective. I think this person is realizing that they didn't know the truth. I just heard you can't handle the truth. Yeah, so something here about a Queen of Wands. So this person could have like rubbed somebody in your face, or like did something asshole-ish, dickish. And they thought, I don't know. Yeah, there's something here. It just feels inflamed. So they're maybe hearing that you're just like inflamed or emotional. Maybe. That was Luna. Emotional. So what else has this person heard about pile number one? Six of Pentacles and the High Priestess. They could have heard that there was something unfair and unbalanced that was going on. And it's either that you were like in this very benevolent energy and like helping people, but then that like maybe turned on you. I'm hearing like something like bit the hand that was feeding them. Yeah, people like ganged up on you behind the scenes and were like happy about it. And you were like blocked off, but But I feel like you were victorious in something here. And maybe that was a Tower. They heard something here, like maybe about a friend. So they've just heard that you've gone through a difficult time. Anything else that this person has heard? They really want to reach out. They really want to say hi. Hold on. They just want me to... They're trying to figure out how to do that. And so maybe the things that they're hearing, they're processing through that lens. They're unsure. They're not sure if things are over. They're not sure if things are over. So they haven't heard whether or not things are over, I guess. Maybe somebody told them that now's not a good time to reach out, because I think they've been told that reaching out to you would be startling and would maybe confuse you. They don't know if it's over. So this person's feeling like very anxious. I think they're feeling anxious overall in their life because they feel buried and they feel stood over. That does feel very karmic. Not like it had to play out in this lifetime, but I feel like this person made a series of karmic choices. Again, there's that bundle of contradictions. And they think maybe you don't know about this bundle of contradictions, but also this person it's not fully conscious within this person as well. Okay, this person wants to tell you a lot of things. Like they keep trying to kind of hijack the reading and say like, look, you're my dream, you're my wish. I want to heal things between us, but like we're at such a distance. Like I see you as like, I want to work, like I want to be cooperative. I want to be collaborative, or like I have some kind of vision or I have some kind of plan for us and I would like for you to be in on that. So yeah, maybe this person's watching you like on social media. So some of the things that they heard about you could be out of context is what I'm getting, because it could be like on social media and it feels like this person wasn't like, they heard something and then they started looking into you. So they might not have like proper context. They might want to work together. Oh, okay. So they could have reached out to somebody on the internet and said like, I want to work together about like a get together or like a reunion or a party or a gathering or something. And then was kind of like looking at you in secret. Oh, okay. Maybe this is a confession, or maybe they heard that you heard this. I don't know. That there was some kind of collaboration or cooperation for them to hurt you. It feels like for them to be seen with somebody else and to be like, look how hot this lady is. And for you to be like, look how absolutely treacherous you are. Dodged a bullet. Yeah, they wanted to break your heart. They wanted to hurt your feelings. So if this happened, I think that they did that and then they sat back like a sadist and like watched your social media to see if you were crying or to see if you were like saying anything like about them or what is this person? This person's heard. I think that what they're trying to say is that they heard a lot or they've seen a lot from your social media because they were like looking into something, you know? He should have picked attractive people then. Yo. Secretly, I think this person thinks that you are the Empress. Okay, so what else have they heard about you? Tower. Maybe some kind of like it does feel like you smashed something here and it might have been the relationship between the two of you. And then like you moved on, but you are also like happier and more successful in some kind of way, like overall as a person is what I mean. But also you could have been gaining in your career or something and that you blocked them and that you don't want to hear from them. So yeah, I mean, or even like possibly their little minions or like their little friends that like were, you know, gathered behind the scenes to like harm you or interrupt you in some way. This person is having an epiphany watching you, or like they're learning about you is what I'm getting. About this Four of Cups energy, that like you were that higher cup and that you were just like, why am I left out? Like, why are you considering these other options? Like, this is the best option. And that you just felt like kind of like left out. I think this person's feeling anxious about that and defensive. And they've had to think about it. And I do think that it's maybe started them, I just heard, on a feeling journey. Like, I don't think this person was engaged with their feelings. Like, navigating through this, and now they're like engaged with their feelings, but also like some kind of secret. I think this person was putting on a show. That's what, like, none of this had to happen. I think this is something you know very clearly. Like, literally none of this had to be so ridiculous. I feel like things got way out of control because this person was like trying to shock you. They wanted you to hear like a message, maybe about a child, maybe that they had a child on you or like with somebody here. I feel like you heard it and you were like, that's morally bankrupt, you know, or like, okay, cool. I got thrown out. I'm not like so good, you know, but you had this child with somebody that's like allowed in the church, you know, they're allowed in the warmth. They're allowed to have a blanket. They're allowed to have like a meal. They're allowed to be taken care of. But me, no, I got to get thrown out on my ass in the middle of the cold. And, I don't know. Like, so you went through the dark night of the soul and like, this was a feeling thing for you. This person, I think, is whatever they're hearing is making them have to acknowledge your emotions and like your fears and how the illusions that they presented affected your emotions and how that then gave rise like, oh no, you fully believed their illusions. That's what they thought they wanted, but then look how things turned out. And it's because this person is kind of miserly and they're, maybe they felt broke. Yeah, this is who this person really is. Like, look at his face. Like, this person is feeling like insecure and angry about something that they're seeing like at a party or at a celebration. So they set about to like turn people against you. Or they're hearing that. They're hearing that somebody else did that. They're hearing a lot or they're seeing a lot, but it also feels very confused because in order for this to make sense for this person and maybe for you and for other people involved, shadow work has to be done here. And like the feelings were giving rise to certain illusions in this situation that were then driving behavior, that were then confusing people further because I just feel like this person had like a lot of illusions about you because they had a lot of feelings about you that made them afraid and made them feel like they had to put forth an illusion and that they had to put forth like a certain image or that they had to hide certain things. And then they tried to play like superior and sit back and act like they were all calm and measured. So what have they heard about you? That you're on to it. That you are no longer open to this person. I think they're hearing that you were soft and like your feeling space is what got wrecked here by this person because they weren't leading with their feelings. So they hurt yours and they did mean to. The Three of Swords came out. This person was trying to like hurt you in the heart and that worked. And now you are in this Queen of Swords energy. You're no longer open, like on a heart level, on a vulnerability level. You don't want soft, which is what you're going to need in order to like actually be able to work through this problem with this person is you have to both be able to drop your guard, trust each other and care about each other's feelings. And you cannot, what this person did put you or what they knew that other people did and believed and didn't like intervene in, it has rightfully put you in this Queen of Swords energy. They think that you've wised up to them, that you're very observant and that you're not open. Like you are not open. But again, they don't know if it's over. I'm hearing that song. It's like, Is It Over Now by Taylor Swift. It's like, once a flight had flown with the wilt of the rose. Yeah, it's like, was it over whenever I did this? Was it over whenever you did that? Was it over then? And is it over now? Like, is basically what this person is asking. And you're like, I don't know, but don't make any sudden moves. Like, that's what you're like, who has the bandwidth to be thinking about that? Don't come close to me. Don't come close to me. Yeah. This person has maybe heard that you got some type of wish fulfillment, that you really, really value your peace. That's what I'm getting. They've heard that you really, really value your peace and that maybe you've been able to get away or you've been able to get away and possibly you left this with like the clothes on your back because you were in a bad position here. I think this person's actually really impressed with you and they didn't see any of this before in the past. So they're having to be confronted with like their illusions that they made around you. And maybe their options, this person could have like had options, but this person also heard something about your options. Oh, that maybe you've gotten like better options. This is divinely guided. I don't know if they've heard anything about that like spirits really got your back on this. That was like, move away from this nonsense and you will have like an upgrade in options. But I'm really getting that you have an upgrade in options. Yeah, that you have like stability and like you're very talented or like you're very determined, you're very skillful. Like when you get thrown out in the cold like this, that you've worked on yourself a lot and possibly worked on like a certain skill or like a well-rounded skill. You have like some kind of well-rounded skill. Yeah, I think for some, they've heard something about a King of Pentacles. So they could have heard that you are this King of Pentacles in some way, like regardless of your gender. but that you want a King of Pentacles. Maybe for some, they've heard that you have a King of Pentacles, or they definitely heard that like you're not messing around with page energy, like with people who do this weird shit. Like it's be a King of Pentacles or get lost. And this person's not. This person's in a tough situation. I think they might literally be married, or they might literally have something that looks like the King of Pentacles, but do I think they're an actual King of Pentacles? No. They've heard something here about like your strength. And that you prevented some kind of catastrophe. And then it was like with that Queen of Wands. You have an inner strength that prevented this from like landing and being some type of catastrophe. I think this person is like realizing that there's something special between the two of you. I don't know if they've heard that, if somebody's told them. It could be that maybe this person is, I don't know, maybe they're into tarot, or they're consulting the tarot in some way, or they're just even working something out. But I think this person's like in some way, they've been like loudly messaged or told that there's like something significant here, something that's leveling them up, something that they're supposed to pay attention to. I'm not saying that you have to be together with this person, because I don't think that you want that for this group. Yes. Anything else that this person is hearing? Yo, there's some kind of sudden message, or okay, they could have heard very suddenly that you had like a new start, and but also like there's like some kind of boundaries up, like where you can't be contacted, or like maybe it's like that you changed your number or something, like whatever path that this person had to contact you was like kind of closed down. This person maybe heard that very suddenly. It could be that there's somebody here manipulating things in the background. That there was some kind of like gathering is what I'm getting. And like somebody here that was like organizing it or whatever, like dropped this bomb. Like they heard that from this person. Maybe they heard that you have moved on. Evil Angel, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for all you do for this beautiful tarot community. Aw. Aw, thank you. Yeah. I think this person just heard the truth too late. And I think part of that is karmic. I think this person was given like an opportunity, like a window of time to see things clearly, but they had to like kind of question their own perspective. And I don't think this person did that. So I'm just gonna, okay, I'm reaching for this like Romeo and Juliet deck that I got. I didn't realize this was Romeo and Juliet when I got it. I was just kind of drawn to it. And then I was like, I think these are all, okay, so what has this person heard about you? Look, social events keeps coming up in this one. Social events. Establish contact, invitation, fellowship. A fair assembly, whither should they come? Oh, maybe like, should I come to an assembly? Should I come to it? So maybe this person heard about a gathering and they were like, should I come? Seeking help. So then they sought some kind of help. Talking, conference, consult. Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. This person already knows thy grief because they are thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it on Thursday. Next be married to this county. So they took some type of counsel here about whether, oh, rings. I just heard paper rings. They took some type of counsel, symbol of love, union, soul connection. How well my comfort is revived by this. The nurse, kindness, loving, realistic. Okay, so they sought some kind of nurse, like some kind of somebody who is kind, loving, and realistic. Thou wilt fall backwards when thou hast more wit. Wilt thou not? So I feel like this person, I think, was told to stay away. Again, they were told to stay away from an invitation or from a gathering or for an event. And they were like, should I go? Mercutio, humorous, loyal, devoted, wild, frenetic. If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking and you beat love down. Distilling liquor. Strategy, expertise, double-edged sword. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. So yeah, I think this person, they were or are inquiring as to whether or not they should go to a wedding. Maybe for some of you, it was kind of like speak now kind of energy. It's like, okay, maybe they heard that you were getting married because that King of Pentacles was coming up and they're like, should I speak now? Like, should I go to the event? Should I hide in the draperies and pop out at the last minute? I don't know. Dream, prophecy, hint, guidance, oracle, reveal, symbolize. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead and breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Well, isn't that telling? This person has heard or felt that you are their basically like divine soulmate, that you guys are supposed to be together, and that I think they might have heard that like they would level up to be with you. And I think this is a bit of a chicken or an egg situation, because I think this person might have heard like being with you is going to level them up. But I actually think this is like, in order to be with you, they have to level up into being an emperor. And that's when all of these things can be beautiful and genuinely healing. But if this person is counting on you to do that, then I think that things are going to crumble and crash and crumble and burn. Like, be an emperor or don't be one. Like, you know, take action or don't take action. And it feels like this person was kind of like, because, oh, Juliet, I know thy grief. I already know thy grief. I am thy grief. Like, you know, so, yeah, Romeo, like idealistic lover, passion, rashness, quickly changing moods. I defy you, stars. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like this person maybe acted with rashness, or like usually does. They don't think things through, or it just feels like this person, Romeo was not very old. I think he was like 14, right? Is giving that like, this person, they want to be an emperor, but they're Romeo and they're 14, you know? And it's like the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. It's like, if you just paused, like just press the pause button, learn some deactivating strategies, you know, learn how to calm down and take a breath before we do anything rash. Like, things could have turned out okay. And I think that might be the tragedy in this story as well, like kind of with this person. And, Juliet obviously did what she did because everything was a big confusion, you know, and it had to do with like timing and certain dominoes falling. And it was giving people like the impression of this or the impression of that. And it was playing on people's emotions. And so maybe the Romeo and Juliet story is kind of relevant here. It feels like a tragedy. It feels kind of sad. So yeah, that's what they've heard a lot about you. They've heard a lot about you, and they want a new beginning, and they're seeing things differently, and somehow boundaries have to do with that. So, okay, that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 1. Let's just not die, LOL. Okay, so I'm gonna just put up the pile selections. If you are just joining us, we did pile number 1, which is the desert, and we're moving on to pile number 2 because we like order around here. We don't like to confuse people, so we go straight from pile 1 to pile 2. But I do sometimes like to remind people that if we wanted to jump around and do pile 3 after pile 1, we could. If we wanted to start with pile number 2 and just really throw people for a loop, we could do that. We could swirl people around in a roundabout, and I just sometimes want to remind you of that. I'm joking. Yeah, tragedy, it's done. Oh. Null and void. Okay, so if you just need to take a gander at that, now's a good time. Order, chaos, whatevs. We're silly here. This is what happened. Badger medicine.
Is it orderly or chaotic to always threaten to do the chaotic thing, but to never actually do it and remain orderly?
Alex wants to know for personal reasons. I'm kidding. Alex is like, I live with this. Is this order or is it chaos? A blue shirt queen will one day do pile 3 first. As you decree it. As you decree it. I read that Romeo and Julio deck, and now I'm speaking in.
I love Romeo and Julio. That's awesome.
Romeo and Julio. Oh. All right. So if you're ready. Oh. That was so was like, I'm ready.
He is so ready.
Cannot two things be true at the same time? It is orderly chaos and chaotic orders. Okay. Sunshine says orderly. I think so too. I think it's a commitment to being orderly, but also having a sense of humor and some part of me that's just a bit wily that I can't fully suppress. Okay. Pile number 2. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. That might be relevant to some of you in some way. You just take that however you want to take that. Okay. Pile number 2. What haseth this person heardeth about you? There was soul again. Oh, look, spotlight. Popular platform, narcissist loves attention. Okay, I'm not actually getting any of those. It's this spotlight energy, but like look at the colors. That's soul, and soul is the spotlight. He is the sun. And like the colors kind of remind me of this like underworld energy here, where it's like kind of, you know, dark, it's gloomy, but there is this like kind of hazy spotlight here. It could be that something is, they've heard something, but it's like confusing or interruptive. Because, okay, what I'm getting about this person, I think I kind of have to start with them, is that this person is maybe not the best. And I don't think they were the best to you. And they're like hiding. Like this person's in some kind of shadow energy, some kind of slime, you know, based on what they did to you. And they're like, do you know my secret? Do you know what it is? Like, have you found out? Like, have you seen me? Have you discovered me? Do you know what I am? Do you know that I'm the tyrant in your life? Do you know what I did? Do you know why I did it? It just feels like that. So I feel like this person's kind of trying to listen from that perspective. And so it's coming through kind of like chirpy, like soul was kind of like, and it kind of like blocks things up. So something here is coming through like chirpy. They can't quite hear it. Look, hiding their true feelings. And that's kind of creeping me out a little bit. Mixed signals, deep emotions, secret love, cold and detached. So I think this person they're trying to listen. Okay, you know what the image I'm getting is like, okay, I'm getting like, say that you were like out at a club or you were like out to dinner with your friends and everybody's like in a group and everybody's kind of socializing, but this person is like honed in on you. Like the spotlight is on you and they're trying to like listen to your conversation. They're trying to listen to certain things that you are saying to other people around you, but it doesn't feel like this person's like around you. And they're trying to, like, you are the thing that they like have a spotlight on, but it's like a dark spotlight. The spiritual attack card just came out, and also desire. So I feel like this person actually has a lot of desire for you. Look, spiritual attack came out again. Karmic triggers, spiritual awakening, shadow work, divine protection. Okay, so I actually think that this person either was the cause of some kind of tower, I almost want to say tower attack, some kind of sudden, shocking, something went on between the two of you. Could have been a fight, could have been something schmegdual, could have been something strange here. But I think to you, it felt like an ambush or it felt like an attack. And I think it was like a bum rush energy, but this person had like their eye on you. I've got my eye on you. That's from a song. And so this person is wondering if you know about that. Look, secretive, sneaky, dishonest, mysterious, hiding information. This person's definitely hiding information, and I think it's actually their feelings. I think this person might be trying to come off cold and detached, but they also have like very deep feelings, and it makes them kind of unstable and like very volatile. Look, mixed signals. I think this person feels like you were giving them mixed signals, but it's because you don't want the same thing that this person wants, or they're not being clear. Yeah, I'm getting that with this person, like you don't want the same thing that this person wants, and they kind of know it. But they're just still looking for an opening, and that's not the same thing as, I think this person is saying that they're trying to determine your feelings, but I think that you don't want the same thing that this person wants. And I think this person's just looking for an opening. They're looking for like a way in for your guard to be down. And I think this person, I'm hearing the word hunting, like hunted. So, but they've heard that you are doing your soul searching, that whatever this person did to you, I feel like you went through something really hard, but this is like tower energy. It feels like something was very devastating to you or very traumatic or very shocking. This person could have been a part of that or like was the source of it because of this energy that they're in. It's very like hairpin snap trigger. And they watch, but they don't watch from a place of empathy. They watch from a place of maneuvering and selfishness and what I want and like kind of a predator in the bushes trying to take down their prey kind of a thing. And so they've heard that you've been doing soul searching and that you found peace and or some kind of deeper meaning or like you're on some kind of spiritual path. I think it's shocking or amazing to this person that something didn't rattle you or destroy you, even though it was really difficult. I think that like, I'm hearing like two things can be true because I think that you went through the hardness of it, but you've also like processed it in some way, or you have found a way to just work with it and like find deeper meaning or find kind of purpose, make something here like very beautiful. Again, spiritual attack is coming out. This is spiritual attack. And just to be clear, like whenever I say the word spiritual attack, I believe in the utter mundanity of our world. Okay. Like I mean, like when I'm saying spiritual attack, I don't necessarily mean like something, I believe energy moves beneath everything that happens mundanely in our world. I think this person is being a person. I think that they're kind of operating from their level of consciousness, but I think like being around you, somebody who's clearly on like a higher plane, somebody who is clearly much more integrated and nuanced and like higher vibrational and higher minded, like this equates to a spiritual attack. But it's kind of like, this person is kind of the equivalent of like a spiritual toddler, but it's hard to deal with that because they're in an adult body. They're like maybe the same age as you, or they're older than you or something. So it's not like they get treated and seen like a toddler. They get, you know, they're on like kind of the same, they're seen as like the same level, but even though they're not like on some kind of base level, this person's really not that way. So they've leveled some kind of an attack. And I think that they thought that they had disguised their energy. They disguised their stench is what I'm getting, like how foul this person like really is, or how like it's dark, mucky energy. So it's like how selfish, or how like they thought that they had hidden that. So they've heard really good things about you. Okay, it says opposites attract. Bad boy, different beliefs, insane attraction balances each other out. They could have heard something, or they're watching and listening out for like some kind of opposites attract connection here. They could have heard that you have different beliefs either than them, or like either than you've had before. And that could have come about because of the trauma that this person put you through. In order for you to cope with it, you had to, it was like sink or swim. And so you've let go of beliefs that maybe put you in alignment with this person, not necessarily alignment, but put you around this person. So for some of you, like you could have had beliefs like, well, you know, we got to give people like this a chance. You know, and you're like, I got to give myself a chance. You know, I got to let go of beliefs that are going to put me in dangerous situations. You know, yes, like I can hold, like you're having a human experience, but you're not entitled to access to me or to anybody else. We're not required to put ourselves in danger so that you can have your human experience. That's you being a tyrant, you know? So like, I actually have to get some equality here. So you could have like updated your beliefs in regards of that. But I think that they were trying to I think they saw that you were with somebody else, or that you were into somebody else, and it could have been this opposites attract kind of connection. They were trying to like destroy that, or hear about that, or ruin that. I think this person feels an insane attraction to you, but they also feel an insane attraction to like destroying things, like being incredibly destructive, and they wanted to like destroy something here. But the insane, yeah, like they have an insane attraction to you, but I think that they're listening because you have an insane attraction to somebody else. And it might be like an opposites attract kind of situation in some way. It doesn't have to be like somebody here's a bad boy and somebody here's like a good boy or a good girl, or, you know, whatever. But it's something like very opposite. And they were watching that. This person was watching it and watching you. And they were trying to like hunt or like trap or get you in some way. Look, 1111. Activation, twin flames, soul contract, divine timing, synchronicities. I mean, this might have like sparked some type of activation here. Whatever this person did, like they try to pop up on you in some way, unexpected visit, taking a risk, facing fears, emotional push. This person, it's weird. I don't know how to understand their emotions. This person has a very unhealthy relationship with their emotions. I think they're actually a very emotional person, but it's all like heavy emotions. You know, I think this person doesn't like themselves very much, but you know what they say? Like, yeah, okay. It's sad when people don't like themselves, but if you want to have high self-esteem, you have to do esteemable things. And that's just the last thing that this person is going to do. So you can't feel too bad for this person, really. Peaceful vibes, no more drama, calm mind, soul alignment. That's what they've heard about you. You don't want their bullshit anymore. Peaceful vibes. You have found your peace with your candles and your coffee, and that you value your peace. And, maybe like spotlight. So maybe again, I'm hearing this person has heard maybe you say that you value your peace, and you could have said it to somebody else, and this person's like listening in on like that conversation, and they're not listening for good reasons. They're not listening because they care about you. They're listening because they're trying to maneuver themselves around you. Still, this person really wants to destroy your peace. They just do, because it gives them some semblance of control. This is, okay, so I heard something, I can't remember where I heard it. It might have been on the thing I shared on Patreon about like the female psychopaths, but it might not have been that. But they were talking about, I think it was on that. They were talking about like cluster B disorders, like antisocial personality psychopaths. They have like actually different brains than like we have, people that do not have like psychopathy or cluster B related, you know, issues in their brain. Like it's a smaller amygdala, which the amygdala has a lot to do with fear. So, but that basically equates to, in love, they feel a sense of calm and peace when they have control. But we feel contented and calm when we have connection. And so you're seeking out connection. And I think this person is like trying to find out about that, or they're seeing that you have a connection with somebody else. And that's what makes you feel peaceful and calm. But this person feels peaceful and calm when they have control. So all of this is just set up to be a spiritual attack. This person's kind of like leading from their animal brain. I'm not excusing it at all. I'm just trying to understand it, because this person operates differently than I want to say that we do. So they're seeking out their control. And I think that has to do with ambush and finding, like, when you're alone or tired or weak or something like that, and trying to like ambush. And that gives them some sense of control, which then kind of calms them down. But to you, it doesn't calm you down at all. But then you've found your calm. So maybe you found connection with another person, or like with your friends, or like you have found like your peace. And your peace is like rested on connection, and that you do not want this ambushing weird shit. So this person has feelings for you, but the way that they act it out is like all about control. And that's the way that this person experiences calm. And I feel like this would be weird to you, and it would be like really hard for you to figure out. Really committed this time. Loyal, in it for the long run, no games. Yeah, that's what this person's heard about you. That you are this kind of person, that you're loyal, you're in it for the long run, no games. For some of you, I'm getting that this is a person that maybe you had an affair with, or like there was some kind of schmegdual activity that went down, but that was like very much this person like hunted you. Okay. Like that's what was going on. And, this person is like drawn into third party situations because, again, that attack energy gives them a sense of control, like keeping people apart. It's like more than just having their own kind of partner. It gives them like just having a sense of control over other people in particular. Gives them, it's weird. I don't know. So if you went back to that person that you were with, they could have heard like, no, you guys are like loyal. You're really actually committed this time. You're in it for the long run. Whether you're with a person or not, like whether it was somebody that they interfered with, or whether it's somebody new, or whether you're single and you just don't want this kind of energy in your life. You've recognized that it's destructive. You recognize this person's out for power, dominance, control, ambushing energy. And also, I don't really think you like this person. I think anything like between the two of you is one-sided, and it's like kind of like drummed up by this particular person who is deeply troubled and who is hiding their true feelings, but their true feelings are like, I just heard, I feel out of control. I feel out of control. So it's like they saw, oh gosh, this person's true feelings, I want to say, has nothing to do with you in the long run. Like this person fell out of control in their life. Oh God. Like it feels like destructive. Like, so they felt out of control, and then like they felt like they needed to, they saw you having a happy moment, and then they just like ruined it. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to tell you the scene that I just saw. It was horrible. And oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was terrible. The scene that I just saw in my mind. Do I want to tell you? No. But this person was hiding their true feelings, and their true feelings has to do with themselves. They feel out of control. Actually, maybe I should tell you this, just a trigger warning. And if you don't know, don't go looking for it. Okay, promise me. I think it was this movie called Django Unchained, and is like the opening scene to that. And if you know, you know, and that's all that will be said. And maybe that harkens to some kind of past life, but I just feel very disturbed now. Like I just feel very disturbed. This person has a disturbing energy, and you know, it's like you want to help this person, and this person has the light of God inside of them, and they can be better, but they have to want to change, and they have to understand that they're the problem, and they have to stop fixating on you and trying to ruin things for other people. That's what this person does in order to regain a sense of control. It's like taking a puff off of a cigarette. Okay. That's what it is like for this person. And it's wrong. And they're snooping. Yeah, this person is just snooping. So this person has like a fixation on you. And it's so crazy because I think that this person may well have like powers of observation, but it's like, imagine if this person just like pushed that towards themselves in their own life. Imagine the kind of world that we could have if people like this did that. And they found their own peace, and they were like, I'm going to figure myself out. Double life. Living a lie, secret affair, hidden truths, emotional betrayal. Yeah, this is such a weird person. Okay, maybe they've heard this about you. Okay, so like all of this could be flipped. I don't know. Take this however it resonates, because I'm just kind of following where the message is going, because this is like what they heard about you, right? This person is very much trying to hear certain things about you. So double life and fighting. So they could take a lot of pleasure in knowing that they caused a fight between two people that had a genuine connection, that love each other very much, that feel like soft and comfortable between the two of each other. And it was momentary, and it was a puff off of a cigarette to just ruin it, and and this person might like loop back around, but it's just to keep ruining it, you know? So there's some kind of like, yeah, fighting, but like trust issues, one-sided, detached, poor communication. They'll take pleasure in that they've caused this rift between two people. Yeah. And this person has this kind of double life where they present themselves in a certain way in order to be able to do that, in order to get up close enough to fuck people's shit up. You know, that's like kind of who this person is. Living a lie, secret affair, hidden truths, emotional betrayal. Or they could have heard this about you, but I think that's just for a very small number of you. I feel like you would know if that's the case, obviously. Okay, they could have heard that there's like some kind of blessing here, but it's coming in, look, oh wait, 1111, activation, twin flame, soul contract, divine timing, synchronicities. There's that activation. I'm kind of reading this as like an activation energy between like two soulmates here, but it's leading to some kind of blessings or abundance. So they could have heard that. Maybe that's what made them want to attack. Yeah, that they've heard about some kind of real love between you and somebody else, that it's the real love, it's the real deal, it's a true bond, it's unshakable, and it's a divine union. That would set a person like this off. This is a person. Yeah, soul contract, soulmates, partnership, spiritual union, and a karmic agreement. I do think this person's starting to see that they're a karmic in this situation. Who knows if they're going to care. Someone's forgiven you. I think that they could have heard that you've forgiven this person. Like you've made peace with this person. I think that also it's like you've put them in their lane. You know, you wouldn't expect a toddler to be able to do calculus, and you're not expecting a person like this to be able to compute and process and be self-aware and to be able to apologize to you. And even if this person could muster up the words, I'm sorry, I think it would sicken you or like gross you out, because this is like a lizard person with like a lizard brain. They don't have that mammalian kind of, we're safer together, let's snuggle to keep warm. They don't have that. It's very reptile, you know, coming from this person. And so I think it would make your skin crawl to even like hear an apology from this person. Someone's forgiven you, letting go, peace, spiritual release. Yeah. They've heard good things. They could also have heard that somebody here is like thinking about you. Somebody that they attacked. I think this person is like, yeah, we had a liaison. We had a tryst together. No, what this person does is they attack people with their genitalia. That's what they do. It's not loving. It's just attack. That's the way that this person's like, if this person makes a connection with you, it's like an attack. That's what it is. It's not like when healthy people do it, is what I want to say. Like, yeah, reconciliation. This person is maybe seeing you put in the work with somebody else. Actually building that connection that makes you feel calm and centered. Putting in the work, better communication, getting back together, equal give and take. Look at that. They're hearing about some kind of beautiful energy, some kind of connection that you've made. And I think, first of all, like with yourself, they've heard that you've been healing. And I think that they've seen it too. Like you've actually been putting in the work, and that this person can't really disturb your peace or even get close enough to disturb your peace. I don't think this person's ever going to get close to you ever again. And this person would take that as a challenge, just so you know. This person would hear me say that because they're so playground. They're stuck on the playground in the worst way. They want to just shove kids in the mud puddle. Something's wrong with this person. Something's wrong with them. Spiritual attack. I actually think that something about watching you be at peace and be in a connection with somebody else and like just kind of come to some terms of acceptance or like love for yourself. Like I got attacked by an alligator, by a crocodile that was like in the swamp, you know? It's a trigger for this person. I think something is actually triggered, like it's a karmic trigger. So it's triggered their karma to start. I actually just saw a karmic around this individual. Red flags. Signs, evidence, cheating, deception. Yeah, I think that there might well be somebody around this person that they're not seeing clearly. I think something about you has triggered their karma to start. And it could be that this person's exploring this, like maybe via the tarot. Maybe somebody's told this person that that's the case, that there's some kind of karma that they're receiving or has been activated because you found peace and you've moved on. I actually think that's what this is. Or they're putting two and two together. This person's like seeing something. I just heard seeing is believing. Yeah, look, snooping. And it says drive by. This person could have like, I just heard drive in or drive through, like drive in movie or drive through. Look, tarot readings, asking about you, stalking you on social media. I think this person, I don't think they're asking about you. Because I think this person's too clever a predator to be doing that. I think that they're stalking you on social media and possibly getting tarot readings about you. And they weren't seen before too. This person moves in the shadows. So it also could be, especially if this person's using like tarot readings or something, it could be that somebody has like revealed them maybe to themselves in some kind of way. It could be that there's a reader who can see this person that in some way senses this person. Like, you know, because it's kind of stupid to call people like this out to their face. But like somebody here I think maybe senses this person or senses like that they're this way and that they're hiding what they really are. And look, spirit's got you. So if there is like a tarot reader involved, this is a person who's got your back in some way. Like this is somebody who, oh my gosh, I was filled with like goosebumps and it felt like squeezing. I feel like comforting squeezes sometimes. Like it came through in one of the readings where somebody was just kind of squeezing my forearm, or like somebody just like squeezed the back of my shoulders, just like, hey kid, you know, kind of a thing. And so I feel like somebody's here, they're doing their job with this person, because I do think spirit has asked someone here in their life. It could be a tarot reader. I'm kind of strongly getting that spirit has asked a tarot reader to kind of, I just heard, comfort this person and take them under their wing and to kind of initiate them into some kind of spiritual journey. And that is good. Like that this tarot reader is doing it and not you or any of their victims. But this is somebody who's kind of aware to keep them like at an arm's length and is very, very delicate and aware of what they tell them about you or anything that they would ask about you. They're just aware that this is not a person that you want to be telling certain things to. So they'll say it in a certain way, or they'll code it in a certain way, or I'm kind of getting that they'll give the information that comes through because they kind of trust spirit to do that. But it's the way that they do it is like safe and protected. Yeah. I kind of feel like this is a teamwork love where you're kind of working with this reader. I almost want to say, I don't know why I keep getting that there's a tarot reader involved or some kind of spiritualist or somebody. And it doesn't have to be somebody that does this for a living. It could be like somebody who is just tapped into the grid is what I want to say. Like somebody that's around them, somebody that maybe they ask for advice or that they see. But yeah, like I feel like there's a teamwork love between you and this person. Like y'all are working together to get this soul out of like the dregs of existence. You know, it's not your job. It's not your responsibility, but they're dragging everyone down. And this person also acts like there's something that they're not. And it's just kind of a overall gross energy. Somebody here is picking up on this person's red flags. So I think that they're maybe hearing that you've picked up on some of their red flags as well. So this person has heard that you're picking up on their red flags. You know exactly who and what it is that they are, that you and this person run on just different speeds. And I'm kind of getting that connects with like a nervous system kind of a thing. Your nervous system is oriented differently than theirs. Like your brain is oriented differently than theirs. You want different things. This person wants control and somebody else here wants connection. And I think that it's been communicated to them that it's seen. Even if it's not like whoever has seen it in them couldn't necessarily verbalize it like, oh, you just want control. They sense it. They know it. They know to stay away from somebody. They know that person's a bad egg. They know that person's bad news. They've been revealed. Somebody is aware they're onto them. Even if the person is like a very nice person, you know, they know how to kind of keep this person like, oh, hey, but it's just, you're not getting anywhere close to me, not genuinely. And this is a person who would take that as an attack on them. And like, oh, well, what are you saying? Well, I don't know. Some people should reflect back to this person that they're terrible and that they suck. Yeah, look, love affair. Because how are they ever going to change? Like, you got to start with the truth. And this is a person who just wants to duck and weave and evade the truth. Love affair, third party hooking up, possible STD. Planning. Text call, hesitant, strategizing, wants to take you out. Yeah, somebody here can sense that this person's strategizing and that they're not who they say they are. And I think that it might be you. They might have heard that it's you, that this person's planning on like strategizing around, but that you're going to give them the cold shoulder. Breakup, distance, ignoring, keeping busy. Inferno. This person's desperate. Self-sabotage, life in flames, breaking point. Yeah, so I think they were waiting. I think this person was waiting to hear if your life was going to be in this, like that if they caused a fight. For some, this person may have sent magic. And they were just waiting to hear if your life was in flames, or if your relationship, or if they caused a fight, or like if you were desperate for them, or like, you know, whatever. But I think this has been like flipped around on this person. And I think that you've actually heard that about them. Message, apology, meeting up, heart-to-heart conversations. This person would need to have a heart first in order to have a heart-to-heart conversation. And if they have a heart, it is decrepit. It's a dirty old burnt shoe, and it's sad, and it's 3 sizes too small. And so they got a lot of work to do before they can connect with somebody on that space, because this person's just going to sewer back up all over into you. They are desperate, and they might be desperate to be a third party, but you're sick and tired. You're sick and tired of them. So they're thinking, but this person's thinking and their contemplation is not fruitful, because all they think about is how to maneuver instead of, why am I so problematic? Why am I like this? Why am I so fixated? Why am I obsessed? Why do I have to take a puff off of that cigarette in order to control, in order to ruin things for other people that is clearly of God, that is clearly beautiful, that is clearly something that if I were a healthy person, if I were situated well in my energy, that I would be supporting my community and the relationships around me. Why am I like this? This person has kind of no interest in wanting to do that. They keep themselves busy by this. It's a preoccupation. So this person just kind of keeps themselves preoccupied instead of doing the work. But this is somebody who'll put on a really good front. No contact, blocked, separation, disagreement, silent treatment. They might have heard that you are giving them the silent treatment, that you don't want to hear from them. And I think that might, for some of these people, cause them to do some soul searching, because as long as they can play with their little toy, which is breaking, I just heard my boy only breaks his favorite toys. Like, so long as this person can just go around breaking things for people, it's like satisfying to them. You know, like those little glow sticks where like you break it and then it's like glowy. It's like that. It's like something satisfying about the popping, you know, like that's who this person is. And it's like, get a stress ball, you know, learn a skill or two, like rewire. This person needs to like rewire their nervous system and like what makes them feel good and healthy in a certain way. Cause this person like has terrible karmas. And if you involve with this person's trying to be at the right place at the right time, alignment, divine timing, meant to be. They're hearing that you're meant to be with somebody else. And that irks this person on some kind of deep soul level, because it makes them feel out of control. You having a connection, or them just, I don't even think it's to do with you. If you really think this person cares about you, I don't really think so. I think that they're triggered by like beauty and harmony. But yeah, I just think that they're triggered by seeing connection. They're triggered by seeing people be kind and beautiful towards each other. Cosmic nudges, intuitive hits, soul maps, follow the signs. I just heard that song like, I can't do it. The Maroon 5 song is like, ooh, 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 ooh. It's like, baby, I'm praying on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Animals, just like animals. Yeah. Okay, so I do, like, based on what this person's hearing about you, I do think that there is someone that's able to get through to this person. Whether it's a therapist or like some kind of tarot reader, or if it's a friend who's like more higher vibrational, I do feel like spirit put this person like in this person's path. And don't get me wrong, whoever that is, I think this person's very annoying to deal with, because this person can sense that this person is a fake and that they're lying and that they're phony, but they have to deal with them in a certain way. But I think because of who they are, they can, because they're like a therapist in a professional position, or they're like removed or detached. So it's annoying and kind of grating to have to deal with this person, and like to just have to work around this person's lies about who they are, because somebody here can just see through it. And they're like, okay, roundabout, you give me the roundabout. We're doing this weird shit, you know? And it's draining, but, and this person's not serious. I think somebody here just knows this person's not serious about whatever they say that they're doing to you, that they're trying to get intel, or they're trying to do something like messed up. But I do think because of what this person's hearing, it's very high vibrational, whatever this person's hearing. And it's the truth and it's real. But the problem is that when you speak truth to a demon, because this person's in their lower energies for sure. Who knows how they hear that? They're just going to twist it. They're just going to pervert it, and they're going to take it as a challenge. And there's no genuine self-awareness. But this person can kind of deflect. They know the things to say to appear that way. But I think even if this person's seeing a therapist, I think that person's intuitive, and I think that was on purpose. Like where spirit kind of put them together because this therapist is using other tools. Like I don't think that they're saying that, but they're able to just sense this person, whoever this person's around, whether they're an actual reader or something. I get the sense that they're intuitive and they can just sense that something's off with this person and that they're lying and that they're actually scheming or that they're trying to get intel from this person. Like, okay, how do I ambush this person? How do I strategize around this person's barriers and walls and boundaries? And this person is like, we're not on the same page about that. You're decrepit. So, so that's what I have for you guys, pile number 2. This was an unfortunate one. And if you got away from this person, then congratulations and good job. And make sure that you're doing your energy clearing and your cord cutting and praying and, just like, okay, I learned my lesson, or help me to continue to process my lessons. It's probably a good idea for you to be in therapy. A lot of you already are. You're doing all the things because you're clearly healing and like moving away from this person, and it's good. And like the more of an energetic vibrational difference that you can put between the two of you. And by the way, you do that by focusing on you, where you're just going to look at this person and you're going to be like, who in their right mind, heart, and spirit would ever be involved with you? Like who would ever be around you? Or like, it's just going to scream so loud to you that this person's off. Like there's something weird about this person, because it might have felt like very flattering because this person fixated on you, but they fixated on you for some kind of superficial reason. And they fixated on you because I think you have a very beautiful spirit. And I think you had a very beautiful connection here with somebody else. And then like when I just did that clap thing, it kind of reminded me of like clapping to scare things off, like in the forest or something. So I just feel like there's like, and I just looked up and saw Ramana. Okay, sometimes I look up and see this picture of Ramana over here, and he just looks so proud. And like I'm feeling like to me, he's like spirit guide energy, heavenly father energy. And so it's like I just feel like somebody is so proud of you. Like somebody from above is like yours. It might be Ramana. It could be like your heavenly father, your Holy Spirit. Like somebody is so proud of you for just distancing and keeping on and moving away from this person, seeing through this person. Because I think for a lot of you were like, oh my gosh, like, because you thought this person was like authentic or genuine. You didn't realize that there was this like kind of subversive cigarette hit kind of like need to destroy anything beautiful and connected. You didn't know that. You didn't know that that's what this person kind of needs. And it's wild. Why would you ever suspect that? But I do think, there's people that operate like that, and you found one, or they found you. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys, pile number 2. Somewhere in there is a message about what this person heard about you. Take it in whatever way. Either they heard all this stuff about you that I just described, and you would know if that's true or not. In which case, the cat's out of the bag, okay? Or everything that I said kind of in the beginning. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys, pile number 2. All right. I'm going to throw that pile selection up every time they open their mouth. Oh my gosh, I just heard that Britney Spears song, Every Time. Every time I try to fly, I fall. Without my wings, I seem so small. Yeah. Maybe that's kind of kneecapping into pile number 3. I don't know. That might be speaking to somebody. And I think that was a song about like the baby that she lost, like with Justin Timberlake. And she was like in pain, and you could tell that that experience like just deeply rattled her. Angela, I hope you did not look that up. I did not know people like that existed. Yo, same. Oh my gosh. Okay. Put some lip gloss on. Oh my. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So, pile number 3. Should we compassion? I feel like it's probably a good time to compassion. All right. Dang. Okay, so pile number 3, what has this person heard about you? I just want to keep that. Okay. What has pile number 3's person heard about them? Spirit. Dang, I think they've heard good things about you. All 3 piles, they've heard like really good things about you. Okay, they've heard that you do not play. Like, they've heard that you're really smart. And they've heard that you kind of separate the wheat from the chaff in some kind of way. Maybe some of you are decision makers, or they heard about a decision that you made. But I think maybe for some of you, you hold some kind of position where maybe you make decisions, or... Oh my gosh, interesting. Look at this. This is painting a bit of a picture for me. Like, you are this Queen of Swords here. Whoops. Okay. And then like, look, boom. And it almost feels like she's saying like, welcome, come on in. And I don't got to tell you what that looks like. Okay. And then the Sun card where it's like, yay, happy. So I think for some of you, they're hearing something about you and maybe a position that you're in. They're certainly hearing like an approach that you take that is very Queen of Swords. But the Queen of Swords to me is like a very principled person. She has like very strong values, and that's why she separates the wheat from the chaff. Sometimes she gets a very bad rep because feminine energy, which she's the queen, right, is not supposed to be sharp, is not supposed to be intelligent, is not supposed to be decisive or matter of fact. But somehow in being this way, it's maybe elevated you to a certain position, like a leadership position or something where you're like making decisions here. You're cutting the wheat from the chaff and you're ushering in some kind of like happy energy. I'm hearing like golden age energy, but I don't think they're hearing that. It's like some kind of like positive, happy beginning. And it feels very dharmic, like connecting with your dharmic path. I don't know how this person would hear that. I doubt that they're hearing words like dharma, but take, the communities that you run in and like who this person is. And maybe they did hear that, but they're hearing that you've ushered in some kind of like very positive, very happy, very passionate, like alive energy. And it's because, or for some of you, you protect that. This exists here. Whatever this is really happy energy and just alive and like zestful. That exists because you are the guard dog of it, because you do not let the weeds come in and choke out this like new beginning energy. You are the person who's like allowing for this like kind of growth to happen because of your mindset. They're hearing something about that. You may have also, like, they could have heard that you, like, maybe even, like, yelled at somebody or started some type of argument here because they were a betrayer or, like, a backstabber, or they brought this kind of energy in. Because this is very different energy to this. You're like, no, we do this over here. We don't do this. So if you do this, you got to go somewhere else, okay? If you can't be fun at the party, you got to go somewhere else. And so... yeah, this person's maybe hearing that you turn them down. Maybe this is a decision that you made about them. It feels like professionally like related though. It also could be that somebody here was trying to start shit with you. They could have heard that somebody was trying to start an argument and you just shut it down. Or they were trying to come at you with some type of accusation or some kind of threat and you just shut it down because you are actually it feels very much like you're protecting your peace, but also possibly that you're protecting the peace of like other people because it's so happy and it's so alive and it's so vibrant and you see things very clearly. And so you'll just kind of like shut it down. So, it's made them realize something about a group that they're in as well, because they were thinking that like healthy group energy has to do with this like watery energy, but I'm kind of getting this was like a swamp, or it got, watery stuff can get kind of poisoned, whether you're talking about, think about like, the limbic system in the body or something. Like you've got to have things, you don't want stuff in like the waters of the body, like the blood or the fluids, and or even like just around like in your fresh drinking water or something. So like this person was thinking water energy is how you have like a very happy, thriving community of just, okay, everybody, like we talk about each other's emotions and we just put up with everything. You've been in communities like this, right? But I think that there's something about like your approach, and like there's something very strong and robust and happy and again like dharmic. It's made this person see something clearly about themselves, and maybe what kind of, for some of you, this person could be in the same field as you or something, and they're like, they have to leave behind, and they've been loudly nudged is what I'm getting, like message that they need to leave something behind here. They need to leave behind some kind of messed up group that has the wrong perspectives about, because fire energy, it disinfects. There's like a disinfectant here that's kind of going on around you. And it also like, it's just stimulating. Something here is like stimulating. But so this spirit was trying to get this person to leave this behind anyways, because it's not right. And it's not right for them. And for some of them, this person was like a leader in this group. And spirit was like, no, 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 no. We cannot have you doing this because you don't know what you're doing. And you are, you're adding poisons to a group here, and you need to stop doing that. If you want to be working in tandem with spirit, which you don't have to be working in a spiritual arena to work in tandem with spirit. Spirit rules over the world, right? So we have to get leaders in positions. Like, so this person was very loudly messaged, you are not the person for the job, is what they were hearing. And I need you to see what the person for the job looks like, okay? And I need you to see the results of it or something here. Yeah. They also could be seeing why you had to leave a certain community here is because there was just too much poisons and like toxins is what I'm getting. Yeah, the Eight of Cups keeps coming out here. I think this person is like spending some time alone here. I just heard, I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. This person couldn't see you clearly. They could have seen you go on some kind of journey, or that you built something for yourself here, or that that's what you were angling to do. This person has heard, I think they've heard a lot of stuff, and they've heard a lot of stuff about this Queen of Swords energy, which always immediately scares me because, again, this is a queen, so it's feminine energy. Queen of Swords gets a bad rap, man. And if you listen to any tarot readings at all, she gets a bad rap. A lot of times she just gets called a straight up bitch just for being the queen energy and the swords energy combined. So I think that this person heard these things about you and didn't know how to process it. And I genuinely think for a lot of you, it's because of like your gender. So if you're a man, it could be that they heard that somebody here made some kind of like accusation and they didn't know what to take it because of the gender dynamics between the two of you. So take that however it resonates. But they've had to kind of separate this out in order to find the truth. And I think now they're seeing and they're hearing. So now they're able to process what they are hearing about you, that you have some kind of higher ground here, and actually that you're very skilled. There's like this looks like, Tai Chi. You're very skilled. You're not belligerent. They didn't know how. I think it's because they were hearing things like the fire, because fire can be anger. So if it comes to a masculine energy, because of the way that men are socialized, they're allowed to express their anger much more freely, and it doesn't knock them socially at all. A lot of times it can garner them kind of respect. So if that's your relationship to fire energy and you're hearing that it's coming from a woman, I think sometimes I think whoever this was thinking, oh, you must be belligerent and like out of control or something. But there's like a certain way that you're channeling it or something. But actually they're seeing that, look, this is the fire suit here as well. You're very poised and very skillful at something it is that you're doing. Yeah, going back to the water. There's some kind of watery energy here that is nasty. It's nasty. It needs a filtration system. It needs to be aired out. It's too watery. It's like water that the sunlight can't reach to disinfect, and it's not moving. The air is not moving through it. So it's just a puddle there. So this person is like looking, and I think they're looking at a couple, like 3 people maybe in this group, because it feels like maybe a broader group. They're looking at those people and they're like, the fuck were you saying? And then they're like, oh, you're part of this poison water that this person was trying to purify, or this person was trying to say, you need to, nah. So they're kind of realizing that. Somebody here is realizing it. And they may have like in a weird way gone undercover to do that. Like, cause I'm just getting, there's scorpionic energy, which Scorpio can be like kind of a bit of a detective, but it's also kind of like hidden. So this person like, or they listened beneath the surface is like what I'm getting, that somebody here was actually being very conniving. This is also reminding me of what I shared on Patreon about the female psychopaths, because in the research, I guess, like her research in particular, one of the differences between female and male psychopaths is a lot of times female psychopaths will go for their managers. They'll go up. They'll try to attack them. Whereas a lot of times, I guess, male psychopaths, they're trying to climb that hierarchy. And so they'll use more like the people, they'll make friends with those people and they'll keep rising that way. Whereas a lot of times women will use, I think she called it societal aggression or social aggression, to isolate people. And I think that that's the water. I'm getting the water as being like that very social kind of thing. So that this person's realizing that there was some kind of social aggression here that was like used against you, or that misconstrued your energy and your skillfulness and your personality and your position on things. And actually that you're just kind of no nonsense. Like you take no shit. You get right to the truth. You're very blunt. You just say things as they need to be said. And that's actually a very good thing. And we need more of that in our world, not less, because a lot of shit is just like out of control. And so I feel like that's what this person is realizing. They're realizing that like the sword kind of turned on you because of competition, because there was competition, because there was like infighting, and because of this poisonous kind of group. And I'm not necessarily saying the people involved are poisonous. I do think that there's a few bad eggs here. And because I brought up the female psychopath thing, there might well be a female psychopath. And also her research showed that where there is a psychopath involved, like the satisfaction like tends to go down, like job satisfaction. But that's really insidious because it could be pinned on the manager when actually it's somebody here, like the manager could be doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, or like some kind of decision maker. But if the psychopath is embedded in like the group, then it's bringing everybody's work satisfaction down, but it's like they're not actually being ousted. And I feel like Spirit is saying, I think whoever this is may well be in a similar position to you, or like also a leader or a social leader of some kind. And they're asked to take a break. They're asked to take some kind of time away, to go hermit mode, where it's like, you need to see what you see in the way that you see it. Or it could be that Spirit brought this person to somebody kind of like you. And it's like, you need to see how how this person sees the world, and how this person is seeing the truth about certain things, and the process that they go through in order to, I just heard process of elimination. Elimination seems, yeah, because that's all the poison water. It's like you eliminate the poisons and the toxins. You eliminate it through a lot of different processes. There's several different ways that your body eliminates like waste and toxins, and so it's like they need to tend systems like that if they're going to have a healthy group or a healthy system or a healthy organization, and they need to learn how to do that. And so I think for some of these people, they're actually being encouraged to go hermit mode, to learn some kind of skill in order to, I think they're realizing that you are of service in some kind of way, some way that I don't think you were getting paid for. What has this person heard about you? Yeah, they've just heard that you're actually very benevolent. You're very kind. You're very balanced. Very giving. But you are above. And that's, I think some of you, it's like the rightful position. So I don't know what this person expected for you to do. I think there's, again, a bag of contradictions that this person may need to sort through. And I said that in one of the other piles. And maybe this person thought they were hearing a bag of contradictions, but they were seeing you in that Six of Pentacles energy, which there is one person that's like above. And you are above. So you had some kind of resources. And if it's your resources, then you're in charge of those resources and people are not just entitled to it. I think there's a weird gender thing going on here for a lot of you. Like if you're a woman, your resources, according to this person, they're not yours. And if you wield them like you're yours and that you're responsible for them and that you need to make sure that they're going to the right places for the right things, then this person's going to judge you. And like, I think other people are going to judge you too. Like that's kind of how this is being seen. But now this person's seeing that actually you're the perfect person for that because you're very benevolent. And also with the Six of Pentacles, one thing that stood out when I was kind of like learning the tarot at first is in some book that I read, it said that a lot of times that Six of Pentacles relationship is oftentimes initiated by the needier party. So there's some kind of dynamic where you're being petitioned because there's people who kind of need your Queen of Swords energy, like even on a soul level, like that's what was going on here. But this system or like organization or group is just not healthy. So it's not set up to support you in doing that. And it misconstrues. Yeah. So this person could have originally, whatever they heard, they could have thought that you were being like very manipulative, but actually they're realizing that like you're very skillful and maybe like you're a bit of ahead of your time. You're very benevolent. You're very like benevolent leader is what I'm getting. Like that. Yeah. Things have changed for this person. where they're a lot more anxious. Spirit's trying to reach out to this person, but they've always been kind of defensive. And I think that might have been because of a part that they played in your story and in your journey. It's very hard for this person to admit that they were on the wrong side of history is what I'm getting. Or like just the wrong side. They were just on the wrong side of the tracks. They took up the wrong kind of position. It's hard for this person to admit that and to see that very clearly. But they are kind of seeing it. And in part, it's because something about their circumstances has changed where now this person's feeling very anxious. It could be that the sword turned on them because this is what came out at first, like the 7 of Swords, but it was upside down. And then we have this like sword energy that was just like pointing right at it. So I feel like you could see some kind of truth here about an energy that was like maneuvering around. And so if this person sided with the wrong people, I feel like those same nasty people pointed the sword at them and they felt it from a first person perspective or something here, where they were then at the whims or the mercy of like whatever this toxic group was or something here. And they felt that and they had to live out the truth of it because they were not a part of disinfecting whatever this is, like getting the toxin out or identifying it clearly. So they're starting to see that, yeah. For some, this person could have had a child as well. And there's something about their child, might be the same gender as you, might be the same gender as them. I'm not sure, but it's like they can kind of see that actually, I think they're seeing something like the things that they're encouraging in their child would have gotten them in trouble because they would end up like you. And how did that go for you when it was in front of them, like their own dad? You know, like when you were in front of them, how did this dad or like this mom treat you that had the traits that they're wanting to instill in their child? Well, it didn't work out well. So this person is, I think maybe, I just like felt something here in like my heart chakra. It could have been something happened to their child very similar where they got yelled at or their traits got misconstrued in this way. And then they somehow maybe found the shoe on the other foot or they found themselves defending like the position that they should have been defending with you the entire time. And it made them see things from a different perspective. And they're like, I should have thrown down for pile number 3 like I threw down for my kid or like, because they have like some kind of inner strength. Spirit is like working with this person. Spirit's like very much up in this mix. They were trying to keep themselves safe in some way. So there's something that they didn't see. And I think there could have been something about whatever went on here. There was a certain, to take your side in things or just to side with you in some way or to advocate for you, I think would have actually, if this person really thinks about it, it would have been the harder thing to do. Like it would have been a pain, if it wouldn't have just been, I think taking the other side was like, okay, sure. Or like just sign on this dotted line or something here like that. And it was very easy. It meant like not ruffling their feathers like on a day-to-day level, but it was devil energy because it was the easy thing like up front, but then they really paid the price for it because now they've got like a toxic work environment like around them. It's kind of the way that they need to start getting the right people in place. And then they need to advocate for those people and they need to keep those people. And I don't think this person was up to the job. And I think it starts with like, they just simply can't see things clearly because then they would have to see themselves clearly. And this person's very much trying to protect themselves from seeing themselves clearly and possibly from seeing the actual situation that they're in, which is that I'm not in a community or a group or a company or an organization that values healthiness. So I'm kind of fighting an uphill battle. I don't think this person wanted to see that. Because they didn't want to be on the outs. They didn't want to be seen as lacking. So it's something here where it's like, I think you have to deny the truth. So I think there is some kind of overly simplified explanation that is given like, okay, well, it's just this one person is a bad egg and we got to get rid of them. And then that's going to, no. There's a problem from the bottom up in some kind of like culture or something here, or from like the top down here. And I just feel like you revealed that and this person needed to kind of see that and work together with you, but that would have been the harder move. Okay. Oh, they could have heard something that was like hard to hear. That now, I think you're a very fair person actually, and that you're very fair-minded. That's what makes you feel like comfortable, is like being fair and looking at both sides of a situation, really deliberating before you make decisions. But I actually think that you're also very smart. So this could happen very quickly. It's so much a value that you have that you've worked on that it is just, it's second nature to you. So like this person, somebody who doesn't have your principles, and also you're very smart. So somebody who has less to work with in that regard, it looks like you're moving very quickly. So it looks like maybe you're not even doing those things at all. But because all of those things are a match for you, you are very intelligent, you have Libran values, you care very much about looking from the other side. You're so practiced in doing that it'll look really quickly, or it'll look like you're doing something really quick. So to somebody who's not practiced in that, who's actually not a virtue-centered person, who maybe doesn't have that practice in the same way, it looks like you're just skipping over it when actually there's a lot going on. But I also think this person, you don't want to work with this person. You do not want to be a team with this person. It could be that maybe this person started some other venture and like they want you to come work for them or something, and they've heard that like they sent a message to you and you didn't respond, or like you blocked them or something like that. They've heard that you're doing well, that you're getting what you deserve, like in a genuine way, like that you are maybe even that you passed some kind of temptation. This person could have heard that you were tempted in some kind of way and that you said no. And I think it was like hidden. In some way it was disguised or hidden. But this person was able to hear that actually somebody had tempted you with like something rotten, something that was wrong, and actually you said no. This person's able to see that. And because of that, you were put on some kind of like higher track here. Okay, anything else that this person has heard about? Pile number 3. Dang, they might have heard something about your spirituality. Yeah, like that you're a very spiritual person. They might be very interested in your spirituality because it might be non-traditional. And also because whatever you got flung out of, I think that there was no justice there. So I think that you saw the worst side of your culture or the people who claim a certain tradition or a certain mindset or a certain belief. And you found a different one that actually seems to treat you fairly. It's made this person like kind of realize that there's a functioning dysfunction going on around them that needs to be addressed, and that spirit has its eye on as well. It also could be that this person is having to realize that they just wanted success, like at any cost. They just wanted to be the winner. They wanted to be seen as like successful, and they took the path of least resistance in order to do that because, yeah, this is Emperor wannabe card. They actually didn't want to see, is what I'm getting. They didn't want to see with their heart. They didn't want to see with their crown chakra. They wanted to stay the same. They're sorry. This person's saying sorry. And I think they're saying sorry. They might be repenting to like God. They might be saying sorry to God. I think that there's been a real, like, they might have in some way heard or felt like that the divine is angry, like the wrath of God in some way, that they really messed up, like actually, and that they got separated out from something, or it was because they separated out something. And it could be like you with your dharmic path, like that God was trying to institute you into a place, because there's a soulmate energy. But for some of you, this is a soulmate energy with like a certain mission or a certain place, or you were supposed to take up a certain like role, and they played a part in severing that or not making sure that you were comfortable in being able to do that. And so there's been some kind of like heat or like wrathful energy here, because this person feels on the defense. And yeah, they feel really anxious about something here. There's a judgment. So yeah, this person feels under divine judgment for the 10 of Swords. For not speaking up is what I'm getting, for not telling the truth, for being maybe two-faced with you, or being two-faced in a group. And remember I was saying like there's some type of watery group here that spirit is not happy with. And spirit is like, we need to get some heat on this so we can boil out all the nasty bacterias. You know, that's what we need to do over here. And this person can usher it in. And this person was like, nope, we are going to sit in this toxicity. And so it was a betrayal. And this person like was like a go-between, I think, like between this nasty ass group, and they were smiling to your face, but being a part of this nasty ass group. And they feel under like, I actually do. Yeah. There's some kind of judgment. Oh yeah. The 4 of Wands too. So that can sometimes be a marriage or, and it's the Tower, but look at that eye. It's like some kind of divine judgment in like introducing this person to someone, maybe at an event or a party. It could have had to do with somebody that was married, or somebody that they married or something. They thought that it was, They thought that it was like divine love or something, but actually there's some kind of judgment. It's unearthing something about this person, that they just want the easy road. They just want the path of least resistance. They are having to confront and face something about themselves. This isn't about punishment, but this is about outing the traits in this person that they need to see that led them kind of down like a certain road. So they're hearing good things about you, and they're realizing, I feel like Spirit's kind of making this person see that they didn't have the truth. And also they were really lackadaisical about it too, because they were like, that affects you and it doesn't affect me. So this is really scary. If you have a leader in a position that's like, that's a you problem and it doesn't affect me, that is not someone who should be in a leadership role. And I think maybe this person was, or sought one out, or was like angling around. I don't know. So they had somebody with a sack, basically you. And then they were like, nah, we don't need to have that kind of a thing. So they're under some kind of divine judgment here. I do actually think that. And it's not about punishment, but it is, this person is just living the consequences of their own actions, of them being just so obsessed with being with the path of least resistance, being seen in a certain way. Because that's why they ultimately didn't take your side. Ultimately, it was sheer laziness. And it was, they almost didn't fully consider that somebody could have been strategic or wrong about you. But I think trying to sabotage you in some kind of way, or like being intentionally weird or grotesque, they didn't almost consider it, because to consider it would mean that they would need to be prepared to do something about it, or take some kind of stand, or be able to say no, or to be able to advocate for you or have your back. And this person just seems kind of weak, and they seem like a coward, to be honest. And I think Spirit is kind of confronting them with that. And Spirit introduced this person to somebody that they thought was like their divine. They thought that it was like good luck or good fortune. And actually it was like, it's this divine judgment energy where it's just unearthing this. Something about it just, it reveals the truth, possibly even to you, because it speaks to you. Like this person, having met this person or involved with someone, it speaks to you in a certain way. Cause like I said, you're very intelligent, you're very observant, and you're kind of a person who separates the wheat from the chaff. So you see something about this partnership or about this person, it speaks to you in some way. And that could be like the judgment, but I just feel like there's something that this person's tried to hide about themselves or something. They can't hide it. They can't hide it. It even could be that whoever this is that they're with is like, oh, I'm not going to keep a secret for you so that you look good. I'm telling everybody your business. Like it could even be that there's something here like kind of gets outed, where especially if like this person's image is the only thing that's important to them. And it's like, I just only care about my image. Well, this person's going around town telling everybody this person's business, but possibly doing it behind their back, maybe just like they did to you. But there is some kind of judgment energy that is going down here in this space. So, but it's kind of forcing this person to have to live through what you lived through and to see it from a different perspective, or to, like I said, for some, they have a child and they've advocated for their child where they're like, that's obviously bullshit and not fair. And then they're like, wait, isn't this like, I was you just moments ago, like when it came to this person, you know? So, okay, that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 3. That's what this person has heard. That's what they heard about you. Nice. Courage is the highest of the virtues, so my reader likes to say. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Okay, so should we move into the general messages? Man, we're just like skating through this today. Okay. So all right, Spirit. Okay, so what messages do you have? What messages do you have? It doesn't have to be connected to the reading. What do you want to talk to us about, Spirit? The Lovers and the Death card. Yo, 2 major arcana, heavy hitting major arcana. There's clearly like some kind of ending maybe of a relationship here, but there's also potentially like a clinging to, I want to say like some kind of other situation. And I looked at the bottom of this deck and it says no exit. I can't remember what this thing is called. Like the stairs that never end. There's a word for that. Maybe it'll stay here. Trapped in a situation with no exit or escape, experiences a perpetual return to the same situations, trapped in an infinite loop with no escape, engaged in a Sisyphean task that never ends. I think Sisyphean is like the guy who's like always pushing the boulder up the hill. Ultimatum. activates during emergencies and signals imminent action, triggers alerts and prompts quick decision making, imposes an irrevocable choice with severe consequences. That kind of feels like something here. Overload and honor. The pursuit of honor has led to inflated stories and distorted truths. You place your worth in others' hands, allowing reputation to overshadow authenticity. I feel like this is some kind of situation here where you feel like, or this is somebody that you're dealing with here, like feels like, yeah, it says place your worth in others' hands. Like where somebody placed their worth in other people's hands. And so that's maybe a karmic cycle, because that's what I'm getting with this, like no exit, like something just keeps going around and around and around. Oh, and I think Spirit is saying, look, I intervened, or like somehow you petitioned me to intervene, like to kind of push this red button here, imposes an irrevocable choice with severe consequences in order to stop something here from like going around and around, in order to confront. And it has something to do with honor, placing your honor in other people's hands, and some kind of like small offering. Views you as a temporary pleasantry, not a serious relationship, can only do small favors, unable to give anything more, can only offer small gestures, minor tokens of affection. So for some of you, I feel like maybe you've settled for something that only offers something very small, but because you're putting your worth in other people's hands, like there's some kind of person here that really only can offer you something like very small and very temporary, and just this kind of small dopamine hit of like, oh, you're worthy, but it doesn't like actually ever solve the problem, because I feel like it's a worthiness thing, and I feel like it's about taking that like back for yourself, you know, where you're like, well, I'm worthy, you know, I'm like ready to kind of confront this or learn something new and like finally end something. Yeah, and that's the difference here with the death card, because for me, for some reason, I always get a cling with this death energy. Yes, there's like a death, but there's some kind of circular, there's some kind of transformation, and there can be this like this cling and this like kind of pull back, especially to like abusive situations, which is like that Anurata energy in the middle of Scorpio. Anurata being that lighthouse on the hill that kind of lights up the rocky road here. And it becomes like, I'm hearing you become your own lighthouse, especially if you've done the circle a couple of times with people. And so something here is like a very painful ending. I'm hearing, because at what point is this self-harm? Like at what point, oh, you know what I heard? And I think Tim Fletcher said this, who's a psychologist on YouTube, but he said, entertaining trauma bonds is self-harm. Entertaining trauma bonds is self-harm. So it's like these bonds that are not built on love, they're built on trauma. And I feel like for this group, maybe there's some kind of trauma that has to do with worth and giving over your worth as a person to other people. And it has to do with like validation. So I think maybe it feels like validation. It feels like, oh, well, no, I know I'm worthy, but then like this person's just kind of validating me through, but it's like through some kind of like small token or small offering. And Spirit is saying, but learn how to do that to yourself, because it keeps you trapped in this cycle with people and places and things that really don't have that much to offer you in the long run. Also, like, okay, she's got this like present behind her back, and then the next card is this unexpected surprise. So I feel like there's something jarring. It's like, surprise, like you weren't expecting that, were you? You know, that came out of this. Also, this says HOL. Maybe they meant to write LOL. What does that mean? HOL? Hole? I don't know what that means. Surprises that spark introspection, that lead to emotional breakthroughs. So I think for some of you, you might feel that something here, you're stuck in something and it's like a severe consequence. But Spirit is saying, look, I did this. I pushed this red button here because it was something here was like going round and around and around, and there was like no exit. There was no progress that was being made between you and another person, maybe. Wherever the Lover's card went. Well, it was out here. So wherever the Lover's card went, you know, like, so this could be like a divine counterpart or like, yeah. And so Spirit was like, look, I had to press this button and it imposed an irrevocable choice with a severe consequence. And that maybe had to do with timing here. Time's relentless advance. Look at that man hanging off of the time thing here. Grapples with the irreversibility of time and its permanent impact, understands time's relentless advance and the impossibility of reversal. And I think somebody, whether this is for you or somebody that you are involved with, Spirit is like, I needed somebody here to understand something about like this irreversible thing, maybe to do with time. Time marches on. And what did it say? It's permanent impact. It's having a permanent impact here. And so, yeah, maybe there was this like unexpected surprise. Unseen moments of joy that challenge your perception of what truly matters. Unexpected joys reveal hidden depths and profound connections. But yeah, surprises that spark introspection and lead to emotional breakthroughs. That's like really what I'm getting with this. It says, you may have been feeling down, but this surprise will remind you of our special connection. Wake up and enjoy the moment. So yeah, something here maybe was meant to remind you of something. Yeah, Spirit was trying to communicate through something. It could have even been through something small that was like, I feel so much joy and connection in like just the small moments here, like I'm hearing like notice with you and certain people, like soulmate energies, right? And it just feels nice and you just feel seen. And I'm even hearing like learning how to get validation in those kind of moments, you know, where you're just connected with somebody kind of thing. Look, the Lover's card came out. Remember, I was like, where did this go? Yeah, the Truth, Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. New beginning, change of pace, change of place. So I feel like something here permanent and irrevocable with severe consequences was placed in somebody's path. They had some kind of choice. And I think something for somebody seems kind of blown out of proportion where they're like, that was such an extreme consequence. But Spirit was like, look, this is a cycle. This is a pattern between the two of you. Like something here or like within one of you, it was just going around and around and around. It was never going to stop. So I had to put that. And I think 2 aces for me can sometimes be a change of pace, change of place. So there could have been a change of pace, change of place because something here was like not going around. And I'm seeing from the Divergent movie where there was that man that was fighting Triss. He's kind of that douchebag guy. They're supposed to fight each other and they're just kind of circling around. And that one awful guy was like, stop playing with each other. So it's like, you guys are just circling around. And it's like, stop playing with each other kind of a thing. So maybe there was a change of pace, change of place in order to like force something, you know, in order to reveal something here. Yeah. And I think it might have felt even like anxiety or like, oh my gosh, like what is this kind of a thing, grappling with it, possibly even with like a marriage or something. And it could have been like with 2 new beginnings, like, okay, do I go down this path or that path? Because there was 2 aces, you know, like that's kind of beginning energy. Do I go Ace of Wands? Do I go Ace of Swords? Maybe it's like, okay, how do I approach a new beginning with the same person? Should I go Ace of Wands? Like, should I lean into the passion energy? Should we just fight this out? Or should I lean into the Ace of Swords energy? Should I tell the truth? Should I reveal something that I know? Like, what is the path forward here? So Spirit could have put somebody in a position like that or put somebody in a situation where they had to make a choice. And then in order for them to realize, some kind of breakthrough here. Another card over here. Look, gossip. Unfounded allegations damage reputations and trust. That reminds me of one of my spells, Lies Eroded Sacred Trust. It's like calling for healing where lies eroded sacred trust. Unfounded allegations damage reputation and trust. Whispers of gossip cause confusion and spread misinformation. So I definitely think that could have been a part of it as well. Yeah, and then time's relentless advance. So some kind of gossip putting confusion in this space and then time kind of marching on. Maybe even gave rise to this ultimatum energy. Okay, what else wants to come out, Spirit? Truth is always good, even when it's unpleasant. I agree. Oh, look, Sisyphus. I knew it. That's a heart, but it's the boulder. Like Sisyphus endlessly pushing a boulder up the hill only for it to roll back down, making endless sacrifices for someone who doesn't appreciate it. So somebody could feel trapped in a relationship because it's wrong. It's like built on the wrong things. And so it's like, I always just push this boulder up the hill and it rolls back down, you know, making endless sacrifices for someone who doesn't appreciate it, a hopeless cycle of exertion and defeat. Gambling. Bets on uncertain outcomes with little control over the result, dreams of hitting the jackpot but often ends up with empty pockets, feels trapped in a slot machine cycle and hopes for a lucky break. Gambling. So this is like desperation and despair. And it's like gambling is not the way out. Gambling is a cope here. And it's not necessarily gambling at a casino, but it's like, I just want a lucky break. I just want something to kind of bust me out of this. When instead it's like, look at this Sisyphean task. Look at what boulder are you pushing up the hill? And like, why can't it go over the hill? And like, maybe there's a better way to exert your energy or something here. Gambling. Yeah, escape. Doubts weigh heavy and a leap forward seems too far. Crushed by the burdens of reality, seeking solace in the thought of vanishing. Somebody's in a rough place. Exploitation. Others having power over you due to what they know, suffering from exploitative labor practices. So that could be in a job situation, but I'm kind of getting that, like somebody having power over you over what they know. Infidelity. Okay. Manipulative social circles encourage betrayal. Social circles encourage infidelity, and temptation surrounds you. Surrounded by temptation and struggles to stay loyal. Manipulative social circles encourage betrayal. So somebody here has like power over you. This is also about learning where you give your power away. And this is why why in spiritual circles we talk about morals and principles. It's not to control your behavior. It's not to shit on your parade. It's because when you engage in certain behaviors, you're giving your power away. You are giving people something to hold over your head because you know it's the wrong thing to do. You know that it's going to hurt people around you. And other people know that too. Other people know that if somebody were to find out about something, that's going to have an extreme consequence, and that so you're not going to want them to find out about it. So a lot of it is just taking your power back. A lot of being a moral person, if you want to look at it through a selfish lens, is just knowing how to keep your power and how to take your power back. You're just kind of giving your power away, maybe to a manipulative social circle here. Yeah, secret weapon. Somebody here just has a secret weapon hanging over you at all times. Maybe for some of you, that is the thing where you're like, I should just come clean. Like maybe that was the two aces. It's like, should I just come clean about like the fact that I had an affair, or the fact that, because it's just this secret weapon, unseen by foes, ready to be unleashed, quietly deadly, a silent strike, revealing the arsenal of the unseen. Like somebody could just blow up your spot at any given moment. Or like this is, for some, this is the person that you're dealing with. And that's like, yeah, that's like why they were separated out. Look, peeping. Maintains a facade and guards your privacy with care. Keeping secrets might protect you for a while, but they won't last. Keeping secrets might protect you for a while, but they won't last. So this is about the no exit thing. That's, I think, part of like the cycle here. It's like, okay, so you engage in some kind of, okay, so for somebody here, I feel like maybe there's a situation where somebody gets their worth from other people. So they involve with people who can really only give them small things, but those small things look like big things because they are coming from such a place of deficit. So they get involved with the wrong people, and it always ends up being kind of like a surprise. Then there's like no exit because this person feels like really, really trapped and really, really squished. And they also have some kind of manipulative social circles, which is a part of the entrapment, by the way. I think this person thinks that that's when they're like letting off steam, or that's when they're free or whatever, but actually those are the shackles, because these manipulative social circles kind of operate based on blackmail, and they operate based on what it is that they know. So it's actually a way that this person is just giving their power away. And by the way, power is ruled over by like that root chakra and by the second chakra. And those have a lot to do with shmegs. And so a lot of times shmegs, especially when it's betrayal or whatever, that is a way that you give your power away. You give other people control over your fate, your life, your path, your destiny. You give other people the power to blow up your relationships, to blow up your spot. And if it's not your relationships, it could even be like a secret affair at work. If people know about it, they can take your job at any moment they decide they want to. Why would you want to put yourself in a situation like that? Is that your definition of fun? Maybe skydive if you need like a dopamine hit. Maybe learn how to horseback ride or wakeboard. Like it's not cool, and you just kind of like give your power away. So again, there's like no exit. This person's in some kind of situation where they're like, because if I come forward, somebody's going to blow up my spot. So somebody here just like feels trapped. And then they kind of fantasize about gambling. They fantasize about just getting lucky, about like some kind of weird lucky break happening, and all their problems kind of like go away. And they dream about their like escape and everything. And it's just, there's kind of like no end. And they're supposed to learn things like keeping secrets is just a short-term solution, but it won't last. So if it won't last, what is the way out? Honesty, earnestness, integrity. Look, yes, on this card. Look, contract. Deep karmic bonds bringing responsibilities and life lessons. Relationship strain caused by codependency and conflict. So it could be that somebody here is just like getting married out of, I don't know, like because they're trapped in some kind of manipulative social circle or something here. Unexpected event. Maybe somebody else got married. I don't know. Unexpected event. Breaking news of unexpected disputes and rising tensions. If there's unexpected disputes here, I just feel there should not have been unexpected disputes. I think these should be expected disputes. Engaged in constant battles and facing relentless opposition. Somebody here, it seems to me like somebody is trapped, like in a very unhappy marriage, in a very unhappy relationship. They feel like there's no exit. And I think they're trapped also by some kind of secret weapon, something about like an infidelity here. And also look, there's money worship. Oh my gosh, this is reminding me of a trauma from my past, like where my first like serious boyfriend ever, we walked down to this like empty park that was near my house. I was an adult at this time, like just barely. And we got on the teeter-totter and he was like, put your feet up, which of course I didn't want to do. But I was like, okay, trust exercise. The moment that I put my feet up, he dropped me on my ass like hard. And my butt hurt for like several days after that. So, that's kind of what I'm getting, where somebody was like, oh yeah, get on the teeter-totter, like trust me, you know, like put your feet up and then like conk. That could be somebody here from like this manipulative social circle, or somebody with a money worship problem, self-interest, rules, decisions, and disregards fairness. Because a lot of times when we talk about like considering other people and like considering fairness, we think about it as like not like being at the expense of ourselves, but a lot of times fairness, it does consider yourself. You don't put yourself in like a weird situation. Somebody put themselves in a very precarious position. And they did it because they thought they were very selfish, and they were like, yeah, I'm being selfish, you know, but actually you're being dumb, because like you're just giving your power away. You're just giving people secrets to hold over your head. Because I almost feel like whoever went down this path, it didn't actually represent them. Like, I think they were like, I mean, yeah, who doesn't want to like only think about themselves and not have to consider other people? I don't really feel like this is the way that this person just naturally is, though. I think that they really were like egged into something. Not that that's an excuse, because I think they're learning how to stand up for themselves, and they will be more inclined to do that, especially once they realize the utter idiocy of this. Like, this is just, it's handing people information about you that can ruin you at any moment in time. And they need to make that connection, especially people who only care about money or can be bought off by the highest bidder. It's actually way better and way more secure. And you benefit from building genuine relationship bonds of trust and connection with people, because those people, if they're really for you, they can't be bought off. They can't be bought off. Whereas somebody here, I'm literally saying, like, you've surrounded yourself with a group of people that belong to the highest bidder. They have the word bitter is really coming through. They have no loyalty to you. So if it looks advantageous, it's just for the moment until something better comes along. Yeah, it's a routine. Somebody here's just settled into a routine. Unsettled sleep brings about fatigue. Your dreams hold messages. Let them guide your intuition. Okay. Overload. Too many responsibilities, and don't let the pressure slow you down. Process involves too many steps and slows down progress. Somebody here could just be thinking, look, getting out of this involves too many steps. But it's one thing at a time. And I feel like it starts with values, like figuring out what values you have and then sticking towards that. And it's the Libran stuff, building relationships based on those values and building relationships that are based on connections. And if you understand the value of that, like the true value of like, this person loves me, this person is for me, and nobody's going to wave a dollar bill in their face and have them betray me behind my back. This is not a person who values that, so it would be impossible. You start building social circles based on that, and life is much better. And I think somebody here has gotten themselves in a situation where that is not who they are surrounded by. And if you have more money, or if you have a cooler thing to do on Saturday night, or whatever, if you all of a sudden start doing very well, then you get thrown over for that person. And I think somebody here maybe is like living that out, but it's like they've gotten themselves pretty far into something. But it starts with like the values thing and the building of genuine connections and relationships. Although I think for somebody here, they do just have to pull the eject button and get away from these people. Because if you had one genuine connection, I think with all these hyenas around, it would be really easy to just kind of ruin that, you know? So I think you got to get away from the hyena pit, which is probably going to suck. But somebody's realizing something has to change here, because you don't want to just keep investing in this. Yeah. And there's some kind of blockage here. This is like, it's a karmic knot that somebody is like up against here. And I think like, I am getting that there's like a soulmate connection here, and one person has kind of mastered this and the other person hasn't. And so that's like kind of being held up for the other one, where it's like, you have to catch up. This person's not going to go over here, be abused by you and your den of fools. Like, you have to get yourself out of this. And it's like, I'm kind of seeing the star energy. Somebody here is like being used as a star, as like this kind of guiding light of one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. But there's a whole lot of mess that's been built and reinforced over here. And it's just the same way you built it is the same way you're going to unbuild it, basically. So I think for a lot of you, that's probably your person and not you or somebody that you're dealing with. But yeah, that's what I've got here. One ex-friend used to call herself hyena proudly. Interesting. Loyalty is not keeping secrets that harm others because of some kind of pact or oath. Yeah. I feel like real friends keep you honest to yourself, loyalty to yourself, and they feel loyal to their soul. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. What could have blinded you? Oh, I was blinded. I was 18. That's what blinded me. I was full blinded. I didn't open my eyes till much later, to a lot of things in life. And I just thought that everything was good and agreeable and everybody was trustworthy. And yeah. And that was like a bigger metaphor for the way that our relationship went anyways. That was probably God trying to warn me. Yeah. So that's what I have here. I think that's it for the reading portion of this. I've got some candles here to show you if you're interested in that, but, we kind of moved and grooved through this one. Sometimes that's how it goes. So, okay, so moving on to like the candles thing, because it's fall time. I have one single pumpkin candle left. So if you want to go get it, baby. And it's got the pumpkin cookie crunch. And this is, to me, like the scent of fall. If you like Mama's House, then I feel like you will like this. And plus, this is a pretty hefty container here. Like it's
the last special pumpkin candle. We still have the pumpkin chai latte, though.
We still have the pumpkin chai latte. And are we going to make this scent in like our regular vessels?
That's the intention, yeah.
Okay, so we'll still have this scent available, but it'll be in our regular vessels. Okay, so the other fall scents, if you're interested, that we have, and just as a reminder, our candles are really the highest quality that we could fathom of making. We have not just 100% soy wax, but a lot of times when you see 100% soy wax, they can say that kind of like in America where they say 0 grams trans fat, but actually there's 0.5 grams trans fat. They just say 0 grams because there's some kind of weird loophole law that allows them to do that. So it's the same with candles, where a lot of times they'll say 100% soy, and what they mean is that they didn't cut it with paraffin wax, which is certainly good, but there can be other additives that are added to the soy in order to get it to like be smooth. So it's not as smooth as it could be. Our candles, like you can kind of see like the tops of this one. It is like, that's kind of a little bit worse than it usually is, like for us, because we do try to smooth it out, but it's very natural looking with the wax. And also we use clean wicks because a lot of times there can be trace metals and stuff in the wicks, so that when you're burning this, you can trust that, you know, you're burning something that's clean and it's like not really harming you in your space. And we also use very clean scent formulas. So this one is apple picking. This is like, if you're going apple picking and it's like the fresh scent of like the orchard and the apples and like the fresh fallen leaves, this is like a really crisp, very fresh kind of fall scent. So that is apple picking. And then we have the pumpkin chai, which is exactly what it sounds like. If you like those chai flavors, the chai spices, just like very warming, very calming flavor. And then we have Mama's House, which this one is available year round, and it is one of our most popular scents. That and Fresh Start. Fresh Start is a classic to just like have around your house. It just smells really fresh and clean in a way that's also very warm and inviting. But Mama's House is also one of our best sellers, and it's probably like my favorite. It's my mother-in-law's favorite. She always has it lit. I noticed like whenever we go over there, because there was one time where it was burning and I was like, what is that smell? And it was this. It's really good. So, also I will say, if you order more than one candle, it matters the order that you smell them in, because this, like after I just smelled all the other ones, this doesn't smell as good as it usually does. I just want to warn you that like, if like it really does smell just, like warm cookies baking in the oven. And that's kind of the vibe that the pumpkin cookie one gives as well. And also I wanted to remind you that we sell ritual candles, and we also do our best with that. We use the same like wax for that as well. And our method for doing the ritual candles is as the wax is melting, I have like certain incantations, and maybe Alex could grab my spell book just to show you like my spells. It's pretty fatty. It's in the office room, I think. But I have like special spells, and we go over them, and we just went over them again because I'm a very ethical person. So the magic that I like to do, I think, is holistic, it's deep, and it's ethical. And we just went through it together to make sure that everything sat right with us, that it all seems like, very ethical and honoring of like people's consent and sovereignty and things like that. So if that's a concern for you, but you're drawn to candles for your practices, just know that it's like of the utmost importance to us and to me as well. So this is like all the spells that I have here that goes into a lot of the candles. Like I just have this kind of arsenal of spells, each one of them that kind of goes into each of the candles, but also we do custom candles here as well. And I write custom spells for those. But I also have a lot of spells that I can layer and like kind of build with certain things. But so as the wax is melting, we like say the spells into the wax and kind of just infuse it, and we set certain intentions, and then that solidifies. We use wood wicks for the ritual candles because it kind of forms a cross shape, which is the intersection of like heavens and the earth. And then we dust dragon's blood resin over the top of it, and dragon's blood resin has been used in rituals for a long period of time. A lot of people would make ink out of it in order to write their intentions, and so it's just supposed to like infuse and make powerful any of the intentions that you're setting with that candle, and it kind of just melts into the wax. And so those are our candles. And I always recommend when you're using ritual candles, or just when you're using candles in a ritual purpose, you can light them with your breath. So you just whisper to the candle, like you can just have a conversation with it, or you can have your own like poems or incantations or intentions. And we even have a card that comes with it. You can write your intention on it and kind of set it, near the candle or on your altar or anything like that. And then after you kind of whisper to the candle, you light it with your breath before you light it with the flame. So we have different ones for that. We have the truth serum, which is kind of my favorite one, and I would recommend that everybody start there. And it just basically pulses truth beam through like your past lives to unearth certain things. And so at the very least, what your intentions are, and if it's like in alignment with the truth. And I kind of try to infuse that in every single one of the candles because we can be confused. And I think it's so important to approach magic from a place of humility, that you're just a soul in a body, and you're not an all-knowing being. And sometimes like our perception is not correct about certain things. And so it's meant to kind of wake you up if that's the case. And also to understand that if something might not be the right path for some kind of higher purpose, then to also like let you know about that. So the truth serum, I think, is like a very important one. We have protection, which does what it says on the tin. It offers that kind of like protection energy and sets like a protective space if you do divination or anything like that. We have a like goal setting prosperity kind of candle, and that kind of bolsters your intention and can help connect you with like your dharmic path. And then we have something called Auric Soothe, and this one I was really excited about, and I really intended for Auric Soothe to be used kind of 1-2 punch with Truth Beam, like the truth serum, because the truth serum is also kind of cord cutting. Like that energy is there for you to kind of tap into and kind of clear certain things out. And as you're cutting these cords, like the Auric Soothe is really more like coming into your auric field and helping to cleanse out from your auric field anything that's not serving you anymore, and also to soothe your auric field so that if there's any irritated, like inflamed kind of energy, it can like soothe it and be kind of just, I don't know, soothed, healed, exercised, that kind of a thing. But it's meant to bring in some kind of like soothing energy. And that's kind of, to me, deeper, a little deeper than like the truth cutting. But I do feel like you've got to start with the truth beam and the cord cutting kind of an energy. So that's a bit of a rundown on the ritual candles that we offer. And we also do the custom ones as well, if you have like a specific intention. And yeah, all of it is very ethical. I don't do anything that's not ethical. And There's a lot of just like, it has to honor everybody's consent that's just baked into the intentions that we infuse in the candles. So yeah. All right. Jess, do you have any Virgo placements? I don't have a lot of Virgo placements. I have a lot of Aries placements, and Aries and Virgo overlap on the light grid. And I do have Virgo placements in my Navamsa chart, which I'm getting closer and closer to every day. Intention is everything. Yes. So, okay. Well, that's what I have for you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out and spending your Friday with me. And I will see you when I see you. We have a Patreon reading for tomorrow. It's the non-romance reading, and it is a past life reading. And that one was actually very interesting. So that's going up tomorrow. And yeah, I guess we're like kind of ending early today. Not bad. So I guess I'll see you when I see you. Alex is laughing because I'm so long-winded. And he's like, sure, early. Okay. Okay. I'll see you guys when I see you. Take care of yourself and each other. And okay. Bye.